Story 1 title, The Shadow Market. Walter White had successfully built a criminal empire with his former student, Jesse Pinkman. Their blue meth flooded the streets, making them legends in the criminal world. However, as their power grew, a mysterious shadow began to loom over their empire. One day, a mysterious cartel emerged from the depths of darkness. They were known as the Shadow Market. No one knew who led them, but their influence extended throughout the world of organized crime. Walter and Jesse began receiving anonymous threats, cryptic messages foreshadowing an unknown force far beyond their understanding. The criminal partners, accustomed to being masters of their destiny, felt increasingly anxious. One evening, while in the clandestine lab, a strange noise echoed. The lights flickered, then went out. Walter and Jesse exchanged uneasy glances in total darkness. "Probably just a power outage," Jesse murmured, trying to mask his worry. But the feeling of being watched persisted. The light suddenly returned, but something had changed. Strange marks were etched on the walls, symbols that seemed to carry a sinister meaning. The following weeks were filled with inexplicable incidents. Mysterious suppliers began delivering unknown ingredients to the lab, chemicals that seemed to alter Walter's formula. The quality of their blue meth began to decline, and customers became dissatisfied. One day, Walter received an anonymous call. A deep voice whispered dark warnings, revealing intimate details of Walter's life that only a true observer could know. It was as if the Shadow Market had access to every aspect of their existence. Tension quickly escalated. Walter's allies began to disappear, and rumors circulated that the mysterious cartel had forcefully enlisted them. Jesse began to doubt everyone's loyalty, including Walter's. Eventually, Walter and Jesse decided to confront the Shadow Market. They were guided to an isolated location, an old abandoned factory. There, they met a hooded man whose face remained in the shadows. "You have disrupted the balance of the market," the veiled voice murmured. "Your reign must end." The confrontation turned into a nightmare. Shadow Market enforcers emerged from the darkness, determined to eliminate Walter and Jesse. A violent battle ensued, with bullets whistling through the air. In the chaos, Walter was captured, while Jesse managed to escape. As a captive, Walter faced the truth. The head of the Shadow Market was a former business partner, betrayed by Walter years ago. His vengeance was orchestrated with diabolical precision, exploiting Walter's weaknesses to destroy his empire. Walter White's reign came to an end, his empire reduced to ashes by a dark force he could not comprehend. The Shadow Market left behind a clear warning. In the world of crime, even the most powerful can be annihilated by the darkness they themselves created. Story 2, title, The Blue Virus. Walter White and Jesse Pinkman had successfully established themselves as the kings of blue meth production, but their success drew the attention of a mysterious organization. One day, a new unknown drug surfaced on the market, accompanied by a sinister rumor, the blue virus. Consumers began to mysteriously disappear after taking this drug, leaving behind contorted bodies and terrifying accounts. Intrigued and concerned, Walter and Jesse decided to conduct their own investigation. Their search led them to a series of clandestine laboratories scattered across the country. Each was adorned with strange symbols, similar to those they had seen in their own laboratory before. They realized that the blue virus was not just a drug, but a biological weapon designed to destroy those connected to blue meth production. As they delved deeper into their investigation, Walter and Jesse discovered that the organization behind the blue virus consisted of former partners of Gustavo Fring, determined to avenge his death. They had turned blue meth, Walter and Jesse's weapon, into an instrument of terror. The final confrontation took place in an abandoned laboratory. The organization members were masked, wearing protective suits as if preparing for a chemical apocalypse. A fierce battle erupted with bursts of chemical explosions and clouds of toxic smoke. Walter, realizing the gravity of the situation, tried to negotiate with the organization members. However, vengeance was their sole objective, and they were willing to sacrifice anything to accomplish their mission. Jesse, determined to end this nightmare, created a device to neutralize the blue virus. The confrontation reached its climax. The laboratory became a battleground between flickering light and shifting shadows. Eventually, Jesse's device was activated, neutralizing the blue virus and leaving the organization members powerless. As the smoke cleared, Jesse stared at Walter with a gaze heavy with guilt. Walter understood that they had created their own monster. The price of their criminal success was the devastating vengeance of those they had betrayed. The story of Walter White and Jesse Pinkman concluded in chaos, and the blue virus remained as a dark warning in the world of crime. Sometimes the evil one creates eventually turns against oneself. Story 3, title, Shadows of the Past. After surviving numerous trials, Walter White believed he could finally enjoy his quiet retirement. He had laundered his money, eliminated his enemies, and retired from the world of crime. However, the past sometimes returns with relentless vengeance. One day, Walter began receiving strange messages, photos of himself and his family taken at moments they believed were safe from prying eyes. Shadows lurked in the corners of the photographs, shadows that seemed to carry a sinister presence. Intrigued and worried, Walter started delving into his own past. He discovered that someone had delved into the darkest details of his life, secrets he thought he had buried with his criminal actions. The shadows seemed to come alive, a malevolent force seeking to haunt him. One evening, as Walter was alone at home, the lights flickered. A lugubrious voice echoed in the darkness, reciting precise details of his past crimes. It was as if the past had returned to haunt him tangibly. Shadows slowly materialized, forming a threatening silhouette. Terrified, Walter realized that someone knew all his sins. The silhouette approached, and he felt the presence of a supernatural force. The walls seemed to ooze guilt, and the ground shook under the weight of his past. Desperately seeking a solution, Walter turned to Jesse Pinkman, his former partner. Together, they delved into the darkest corners of their criminal past to unveil the source of this supernatural vengeance. Their investigation led them to an abandoned laboratory where, years ago, they had produced their first batch of methamphetamine. It was where it all began, and it was also where the shadows of the past came to life. They discovered a mysterious ritual, an ancient occult practice that had been used to summon the vengeful shadows. Someone, seeking to punish Walter for his sins, had awakened these dark forces. The final confrontation took place in the laboratory, with flashes of light and swirling shadows. To end this curse, Walter and Jesse had to confront the demons of their own creation. The battle was fierce, but ultimately, by combining their skills and facing the truth of their past, they succeeded in appeasing the shadows. The night dissipated, and the shadows faded away. Walter White realized that even though he had escaped the justice of men, he could not escape the justice of his own past. The last image was of him, watching the shadows disappear, with a glimmer of redemption in his weary eyes.